Hey, what's up, B-Hackers? In this week's video, I want to give you a really awesome tip that's not just going to allow you to make the most of your samples, but it's going to make you 10 times quicker at creating music on Ableton. It's an awesome tip, so let's get into it. Okay guys, so here is the problem that everybody faces. They have thousands and thousands of samples. And when you're trying to make a track quickly, you don't want to sit there and listen to 500 kicks to decide which one is the best. So 99% of your samples never really even get listened to, because when you have an idea, you just tend to grab the first thing you can. So what I'm going to teach you here is using drum racks to sample different sounds, particularly percussion. This will allow you to actually sort your samples in a way where you'll be able to listen to a much wider range of your samples to choose which one's actually the best. And it'll also make you quicker. So if you check out my screen here, just searched for kicks. And I've just seen there's this pack of kicks here from a recent sample pack I'd have downloaded. So you can listen to them all here like this, okay? Now, typically, if I was making a project, you could just go and drop these kicks in. So you just grab one like this and drag it into the project like that. But what happens if I want to decide, well, maybe I want to try a different kick? Well, you've got to go and grab another one and drop it in instead like this. And the whole process becomes really time consuming. And you can, of course, sample them at the side of your track here. But you really want to be able to hear that kick in with the song that's playing. So here's what you can do. I've got this MIDI lane here. I'm going to go to drum racks here. Close there and just put a drum rack in like this, okay? And what you'll have then on this lane is an empty drum rack. Now we're going to go back to samples. I'm going to go and grab that sample, those kicks again. And what you can do is just grab these kicks like this and drag them into a drum rack like this down here. So we now have all of our kicks in this drum rack like this, which means if I go onto this clip here, I have all the different drum racks here, which I can select and go through sample all the different kicks. Now the secondary beauty to this is if I'm playing a song and I've got this one kick playing and actually I decide that I want to try out a different kick, I can just press play and sample through the kicks while my track is actually playing, which is a really awesome thing. When I discovered this, I was like, this is revolutionary. So you can press play and just highlight them all, the MIDI clips, move them up or down and sample different kicks all at once. Then, once you've got that kick rack, you can just go and save it into a place where you keep all your kicks. So let me just show you mine. If I go into my kicks folder here, I've got all my kicks in A, all my kicks in the key of B here, all my kicks in C. I've got Melbourne house kicks, I've got stomp kicks, top kicks, all my different kicks. So if I was writing a track now in A, I can just go and drag this down onto this lane here. And lo and behold, I'll have all of my kicks in A. So if I was to open this up, I've got an awesome selection of kicks, which I can go and sample through. Now let me just go and show you how this can be used to make you 10 times quicker at producing music. So what I've got open here is a template that I use whenever I start a track. Now most of the tracks I write are 4 on the floor, which means most of the drum beats are exactly the same. So I just go up to my kick up here. As you can see, I've got a kick lane and a top kick lane. So if I just kind of have this lane activated with the kick in it, I'll hear the kick go in. And I may decide that I want to go and try out a different kick. So I just select all of these here and maybe sample through a few. That one sounds pretty cool. And remember, if you can't hear anything, just make sure you have this headphone turned on here. Let's go with that one there. Next, I may decide, do I want a bit of a top kick to this, or a bit more of a snap? By itself, it would sound like this. And what I can do is bring the volume all the way down and just introduce a bit of this top kick, so I get a bit of a snap to the kick if I wanted it. There we go, that's pretty cool. Next, percussion. So, most likely I will want a clap on every other drum beat. So I just highlight this here and let's listen to the claps. And it's like, okay, let's go and try a different clap. There's one that's quite cool. And now this brings me on to a secondary cool tip for you. So if you go to your drum rack here and you go and find that clap that we just selected, and you can find it quite easily by looking for it to be highlighted in yellow over here. There it is. Here it is here. click on it, I might decide that I don't want that clap to be as long as it is. And now, because the drum rack works by just having lots of different samples in a sampler, you can then go in and affect that sound using a sampler. So this is the clap that's playing. I could decide I want the clap to be shorter, so I just bring it lower like this. I can have it fade out more or less. And there we go. I've made a slight change to a clap that I really like the sound of. I can go on then, same principle with hi-hat. Let's try and choose a different hi-hat. Not so good. Let's go and pick another one. Cool, that one will do. And before you know it, you can begin to build the base of a really cool track really quickly. And remember, if at any point in the project you wanted to go back and swap out any of these samples, it's as simple as highlighting all of the MIDI clips and just sampling them up or down to a different sound that is in that drum rack. So there we go, guys. It's a really quick tip, but it's incredibly powerful. And once you've spent the time to actually organize your sample into these different drum racks and put them in a folder system, which will allow you to put your hands on them quickly, you will be able to get tracks written so much quicker. Last thing I wanted to show you is, obviously I've got my kicks here, but I've also got all sounds. Oh no, I've actually got drum racks and effects here. So if I take this off, I have things like bongos, claps, clicks, cowbells, crashes. They're all sorted into drum racks just like this. So if I ever decide I want a cowbell, drag that into the MIDI, draw in where I want the cowbells to be, and sample 100 different cowbells till I find the one that I want. You get the idea. It's incredibly powerful. So last thing I wanted to tell you guys is, if you are interested in learning more about making your own dance music, even if you don't play an instrument and you've never produced any music before in your life, I'm currently doing some free live web training over at edmcoaching.com. There's a link directly below this video. Go and register your spot to watch some free training where I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about making your own amazing dance music from scratch. So go and check that out if you're interested. If you like this tutorial, make sure you leave a comment and like the video. Let me know that you like these tutorials and I'll make sure I make more of them. Finally, if you just want more free tips just like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel by hitting this button here and hitting the bell notification so you get told about future videos. Hit that button down there if you want to go and watch that free live web training on making dance music. And finally, hit this button below if you want to go and see my new remix of the Thong Song. See you guys in next week's video. Ciao!